Hi everyone, welcome to Efficientera's product demo. My name is Ritu Java,
And I'm David Quisenberry.
and today we are going to give you a demo of some of Efficientera's tools. We're tuning in live from our office here in Redmond, Washington, and it's 7 a.m. in the morning here.
It's early here, but we know we have sellers all over the world, really. So
Yeah.
hi to everybody in the UK and the East Coast.
Right, hi. Before we jump into the demo, we just want to give you a quick intro to those of you who are new to Efficientera. Efficientera is an all-in-one suite of tools for Amazon private label sellers. We actually designed these tools to support the needs of our own private label business, which has been selling on Amazon since 2009. It's an 8-figure business, and we've been selling globally. Despite being so successful on Amazon, with every new product launch, we face, the same problems that, most of you sellers face, which is how to rank on page 1, how to get sales, how to get reviews, how to be in stock, and how to just keep the Amazon flywheel spinning, and how to do all of this within, Amazon's terms of service.
It can be a little difficult. The way we try to address it is through analytics and automation to try to fill in some of the gaps you have in reporting, even with Amazon, to really help you be successful selling.
Right, yeah. And so Efficientera was recently featured on the Amazon Marketplace App Store, and we have a collection of tools that are highly integrated, which basically means that once you give us your MWS credentials, pretty much all of the tools will function smoothly without the need for any extra. Like, we used to be supporting certain features that required Seller Central access, but we don't anymore. So it's just one MWS credential, and we can support multiple geographies, and we have like over 20 tools at this point. So in today's demo, we'll only cover like a few of them because of time constraints. I would like to start with one of our newest tools, which is the ads tool. And I just want to mention that David here is an expert at Amazon sponsored products. He's been managing PPC campaigns for a very long time. So David, do you want to tell us a little bit about your experience as a PPC manager, and like what are the kind of challenges you face and how Efficientera's tools have helped you?
Sure, the tool is something I love talking about for those exact reasons of it being difficult managing your PPC campaigns. It's twofold. One is kind of time. If you have mature campaigns and you're kind of a business that's selling a pretty good clip, there's a lot of small adjustments in adding keyword variations or doing bid adjustments that just take a lot of time. They're not hard adjustments to make, but there's a ton of them. For me, I had thousands of keywords in campaigns. I had over 100 ASINs that I was actively managing, that were selling well. And so there's no way you can touch it all. So you have to prioritize the top ones. So through automation with this tool, it saved me not just a ton of time, but it allowed us to touch some of those keywords that maybe they weren't very high in spend or sales. Maybe they had a lot of potential, but they didn't really get as much time to those adjustments as they probably should. So my time gets freed up for those little things, and I get to kind of handle those big issues.
Yeah, awesome. So, there are some, key features of our ads tool that we definitely want to share with you guys today. So, who better than David to do this? So, David, would you like to give us a demo of the ads tool?
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll go over to my screen capture here.
Okay.
So again, this is something I'm really excited to share. Something that's saved me a lot of time and effort. So here we're actually in the ads beta. I'll just click on it again on Efficientera, and we'll kind of just go through a couple things. The first one is campaign creation. Campaign creation is something we wanted it to feel pretty natural for you to do, like you would through Amazon, but also a few little extra features that are kind of quality of life improvements. So just like you would on Amazon, we actually have a drop down for this of choosing the ASIN you want to actually put up on that campaign. Next, you kind of choose if you want an automatic or manual campaign. We also have an option for both. Usually you want to start with a manual and an auto campaign. And then this little slider is kind of like the magic I'll show you a bit later with his generating recommendations, which is our automation system. So we'll go ahead and click next over here, get to choose a date, a time range. Your normal campaigns are probably just going to run them the day you set it up and let them go forever. But as we know, Prime Day is coming up, and so you might have some specific campaigns you want to start running just for Prime Day with some high spend.
Right.
So go ahead and get those running for whenever you have that lightning deal going. Flip that, choose it to end whenever that promotion ends, just so you don't have a lot of cleanup afterwards. So the next one we have is we go to our budget, just like on Seller Central, just set a maximum budget and kind of your default bid, and also if you want to enable Bid Plus or not.
Right.
And then lastly, a way of adding keywords. Another kind of quality of life change we have here is actually the ability to add those keywords you're seeding with initially as broad phrase and exact. Usually you are copying those repeatedly, and it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. You just want to, if you think a keyword's going to work, you want to add it to all variations and try to cast that wide net initially. So that's adding new campaigns, but if we want to check out how to actively manage them, again, we didn't want to create a system that was confusing for anybody. If you're currently running PPC and sponsored product ads on Amazon and managing it through Seller Central, this is going to look really familiar. And you can do all the same adjustments in here as you can on Seller Central, so you don't need to keep flipping back and forth between the two and just use this for one thing. So we can go into campaigns, we can edit any of those fields that are applicable for that campaign. We can click into that campaign directly, find our ad groups, same thing, add any changes to the ad group, add any new ad groups to the campaign, and then we can get all the way down to the keyword level again, and we can change bids. We can go ahead and sort these fields by clicks or sales if you kind of want that overview of what your top keywords are performing currently. And kind of like that last section that you don't have with Amazon, again, kind of a common thread, we want to give you something added on. We don't just want to kind of copy a behavior, is the product ads. If you have one ASIN that you have in multiple campaigns, it can be kind of hard to manage and see what campaigns you have going between them. And so this way you can actually see what keywords are running on one ASIN, regardless of how many campaigns it's a part of. So if, we always say to have one campaign per ASIN. Not everybody stuck to that, or if you're kind of onboarding with us and kind of getting into that more organized way, we at least give you an option to look at those product ads specifically and not get lost.
Right, yeah. And then just to mention it to our listeners right now, this is like a demo account, so some of the stuff you see on the screen is just made up, so bear with us.
Yeah, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah,
yeah, I'm not sure what SLNF is there. And one thing I think I'll mention too, so you can navigate that way by clicking into campaigns, their ad groups or keywords, or I can see all of my keywords kind of right up front. So if I wanted to see across my whole catalog of products that have ads running on them, what is the best selling and what's that main keyword? I mean, it's important these days. Everybody knows your sales really start at the keyword level and trying to rank up on Amazon for that keyword. So for me, that was a huge benefit.
And isn't that different from the Seller Central view? Because you have a keyword view, and then you also have where those keywords are being used, right? Which campaigns and ad groups?
Exactly, yeah. On the Seller Central side, you can just kind of go down the tree of a campaign and its ad group and then its keyword specifically, so you don't get those kind of big views of multiple campaigns, multiple ad groups.
Awesome.
Like I said, it's super powerful if you have run PPC in the past, but kind of we're not organized with how you did it, and it's all over the place. It can feel daunting to kind of get them back in order. This definitely makes that easier.
Right, yeah.
And kind of the last thing, kind of everyone has their own secret sauce, and this is ours. Our automation, we do them as recommendations. So this first screen you see with all these cards is our suggested changes that you can make to your account. You have full control to see while we're making that change. So this first one is we're asking you to up your bid. And the reason we're telling you is because you got low impressions on that one. That might be a campaign you only have a handful of impressions for, but maybe that's just a competitive keyword and you're just not bidding higher to get visibility on. So we definitely suggest you up that bid. So you can either accept that automation, you can delay it, maybe you want to let it go another week, maybe it's a new campaign, or maybe you just want to straight up reject it and not do that right now. So that's all these cards. We don't want to force you into making a change to your campaign and honestly the way you're spending your money on Amazon without letting you know why we're doing it. So we want to get kind of your buy-in for our logic as to why these adjustments are happening. And so here I went into the list view of it. So it's the same thing. The nice thing about doing it in the list view is if you want to prioritize these keywords that have high clicks, you can go ahead and do it. You can sort any of these columns. There's a nice little button that's accept visible. So let's say today, I only want to change things I'm fairly confident in, things that have a lot of clicks. So, down at the bottom of the page, we have 20 clicks on kind of the lowest one. Now I want to just accept all these visible ones, all 50. If you have 20 clicks or more, you have a kind of really good set of data and information to make a good adjustment with it.
Well, that itself is such a time saver, isn't it? Like, like accept
Yes.
all 50. Wow.
Yeah, for me, several
Yeah.
hundred, not only to just do the change, but actually to hunt down which ones need to get changed. I mean,
Right.
there's just no way if you have 100 ASINs that you can spend enough time in the day to actually look at every single keyword and how it's performing and do
Right.
the correct adjustment for it.
Right.
And then on the other end, when we talk about kind of the confidence in a change, for something that doesn't have any clicks or very low amount of clicks, it doesn't mean you shouldn't make an adjustment to it, but you definitely should do it far less aggressively.
Sure.
So we have kind of a 3-tiered system based off of how confident we are in that data set for
Right.
how much that should actually be changed. So for these low impressions, maybe they'll be up bid, lower bid, maybe we'll add them into a different match type. We'll do it less aggressively.
Cool. So we have some sort of like confidence filters.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Awesome.
Yeah, so that's the big thing on the recommendation list. If anybody has any questions for any of these sections, go
Yeah.
ahead and ask. We'll answer a bunch of questions kind of at the end. But we'll also
right.
have time, throughout the week. If you guys come back, if you catch this when it's uploaded somewhere else, want to ask questions, we're always there.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So that's the ad tool that we just had David demo to us. But we have a bunch of other tools that we mentioned in the beginning. But we have over 20 tools and counting. So I'm just gonna go over some of the other tools that are pretty popular and give you like a quick rundown of what we can do with them. So the first thing that I want to show you is the profits analysis chart. And so what we need from sellers when you sign up is your landed cost of your ASINs, and this can be uploaded through a very simple CSV upload. And so product-wise, the landed cost per product. Once we have that information, we actually pick up all the other costs that are associated with your sale on Amazon, and we populate them automatically. So as you can see on this chart, we have like an aggregate view of profits and some of the other headers like the Amazon fee, so your FBA fee. Your return costs, when products are returned, there's a cost associated with that. There's the ads cost, the cost of running PPC campaigns, and even your promotions, like if you run any coupons or lightning deals or any of Amazon's inbuilt promotions, we pick those up automatically, and we kind of give you this chart. So one of the cool things is that, let's say, if you just want to compare your profits to your returns, you can do that visually right here. If you just want to look at your profits over time, you can do that. So it's a kind of easy interactive chart we have here. But then the other cool thing is that we can drill down to the product level. So this is the aggregate view, but if you go here and click on a product, you can actually do the same analysis on a per product basis. And what's really cool is that we also give you the same kind of drill down capability across marketplaces. So we support all of North America, all of Europe, and Japan. Some of our tools won't be available in Japan only because Amazon doesn't provide the APIs to do certain things with Japan. But pretty much all of our tools will work in these geographies. And then we have this date range. So if you really want to drill down and do some analysis on a date range, we give you like some standard controls like last month, 90 days, and so on. But then you also have like a custom range, and you can do all that cool analysis. David, have you used the Profit?
I have.
Yeah, you have.
One thing I really like is, up front it looks like a great tool to use for a mature product to see kind of like where are you making your money, but it's also really important when you're launching a product too.
Right.
One thing I didn't mention with the Ad Manager is the ability to set a target ACoS. So with a
Right.
new product, you're probably looking to consume all of that margin or even spend a little bit to kind of get that flywheel moving.
Yeah.
And so when you are setting that up and you see you're making kind of profit on a very early product, that's almost like a missed opportunity to maybe
Right.
increase that spend you have going on, or do an additional giveaway to kind of get that going, and then see how it goes over time and see how profitable it becomes as kind of your rank goes up, your
Right.
keyword relevancy, and
Yeah.
you kind of go down that funnel.
Right. So that's a great segue to our next tool, which we just want to go over. So I'm going to talk about the emails tool. This is an email autoresponder. gives you post-order emails. Pretty standard functionality that you might have seen in other products, but the good thing about our email tool is that it's very simple. It's very simple to use. It has the minimum functionality that you need in order to reach out to your customers as soon as a purchase is made. So we have like 3 triggers, and I'm going to show you the screen in just a minute. So we have 3 triggers. We have the ability to send post-order emails when an order is confirmed, when it's shipped, and when it's delivered. Plus, you have the ability to add a few days to those standard numbers. Actually, let me just jump into one of the email templates that I have here. So let's say we have our first email going out, the thank you email. Amazon recommends that we have we send out just one email if possible. To customers and not overwhelm them with too many. So what we try to we recommend that the first email that you send out, you provide customer support. In terms of, let's say, any attachments which our system supports. We also have the ability to attach VAT invoices that go out automatically, and we also give you the ability to set certain placeholders within your email, which gives you more control over how the email looks. So just to give you an example right here, I have the simple email. It says, "Dear buyer name, thanks for your recent purchase of product title." So these, what you see here are placeholders. So we have like square brackets for placeholders, and these get replaced dynamically when the email is being sent out. And there's a bunch of placeholders that we provide for you. For example, the Amazon email, the ASIN, the buyer name, seller name, order ID, pretty much the standard stuff. But we also give you the ability to insert predefined links. So, for example, if you want to request seller feedback or product review, you can do that easily. So it's as easy as saying. So let me just for demo purposes, tell us what you think, and then just leave a, let's say, product review. So that's it's as easy as that. So when you're composing your email, it can be done pretty quickly. Going into the email content section here, and as I just mentioned, we have triggers and attachments also. Emails are one of the ways that within Amazon's terms of service to request for a review, and reviews are like the most important social proof of your brand on Amazon. So, David, did you want to say something about the email system? Or
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So it's not about the email automation. It's not about reaching out and just soliciting for reviews. One thing that was really good for us selling as kind of like a technical company, if we had a product we were selling in electronics and it had a driver that came with it or a bit of software you had to install ahead of time, we had the ability to just send an email automation immediately when they made the purchase of saying, hey, it's in the mail, it's on its way. Right. Here's what you can do to make it just plug and play. So you can have all this stuff installed and ready to go. And we would get tons of positive feedback for that. Yeah. And then also being able to set that delay to let that person actually use your product. And if you're not trying to solicit reviews in the sense of how does your product do, so you can make improvements as a seller, you're kind of doing it wrong. You need to make those improvements. You need to have a good product. So you're not trying to find somebody you can kind of get a cheap review from. Having those reviews after the person's had it for a little while and actually give you that good feedback is super powerful.
Yeah, so I think there's a couple different ways people do it. Like some people just have one email going out with customer support and a request for a review like built into that same email. But then you can also kind of break that up into like an email sequence. You can have the first email just being a thank you email, and then the second one could be sent right after the product has been delivered, plus a few days, giving them the opportunity to test it out. So you could actually set your trigger to let's see, you can set it delivered plus let's say 5 days, something like that. So that's another way to solicit reviews after they've had a chance to use it for a bit. And that kind of brings us to the next tool that I wanted to show you, which is our reviews tool. So this is what most of our tools look like. There's going to be like a dashboard that gives you some sort of high level aggregate view of all your data. So you will be able to see charts and analytics right here. But then you also have the ability to dive deep into each of the sub features on the left menu. So for example, we have like all reviews, which basically gives you a list of all the reviews you've ever received after you start, after you sign up with Efficient Era. We also go back in time a little bit, but I think the reviews we do go back all the way in time. Some of our other tools we don't currently have the ability to go back in time, but we're working on that. So for example, if you want to just look at all your negative reviews or all your positive reviews, that's where you would do it. So we give you the web UI to be able to drill down into your reviews, and maybe even perform certain queries like searching for certain text, and kind of identifying patterns in your reviews that you might give you some pointers to improve the product maybe, or there might be some early warning signs that you need to kind of take care of right away, to prevent an ASIN suspension, or just to raise red flags with Amazon. So we these tools will allow you to search, sort, filter, and then export all of your data that comes from Amazon. We also have seller feedback. I won't be able to go into that today because of time, but yeah, if you have any questions about that, feel free to ask, and we will cover that at the end. And of course, this is the web UI, but we also have notifications going straight into your email. Now this, we've been very careful in giving you a lot of granular control at the product level. So when if you want to set an email trigger to be sent to you when a product has received a review on Amazon, and Amazon, by the way, does not give you that information automatically, right? And it's super important for for you to know when someone's left a review on Amazon. We actually give you controls at the product level, so you can say that for this product, send all the positive reviews that's a 4-star and above to go to this email, or all the negative reviews for this product 1 through 3 to go to maybe a ticketing system, so people on your team can actually look at those and treat those as a customer service incident. And so we give you granular control. We also give you a daily digest if you would like that, or if you would like to receive your review notifications as and when they happen. So we have like an 8-hour cycle, and our software will be giving you review alerts at those times.
And one of my favorite parts of that is when reviews change. If you are looking at your 1-star reviews or 2-star reviews or 3 stars, because Amazon does consider basically 3-star review a negative review. Right. And if you are trying to tackle those like customer service issues and you're trying to do the best for the customer, you want to know if that pays off and what worked best, so you can kind of develop your strategy in that. Because we know sometimes a product, if it's defective, anything that's mass manufactured, you're going to have an issue. So there's some failure rates you can help that customer with, but you're never going to know if they say had a 5-star review and said I'll update this after 6 months, and you're not going to set a calendar reminder for yourself in whatever calendar app you use and say check back 6 months, look at this review. So with this tool, you'll know if they came back and said this is a 2-star because I had this issue. You want to take action on those. And again, like I said, when you do have your negative turn around to a positive, that's just a good positive feedback for you to keep doing that thing, because your star rating is, when you're talking about that sales funnel and how you're going to reach success with the product after you've been starting to make those sales, that star rating's got to be your first priority.
Right. And I just have the screen up here just to show you guys, if someone changed their review, they started out with a 2-star review, you delivered some great customer support there, and it changed to 5 stars. So that's like an example of, review changes. And then again, we send these out to you in an email. So it's super convenient. Okay, so moving along, so the last tool, well, there's so many, but the last tool that I want to show you today is the orders tool. And Yeah, I think orders is interesting because there's so much data that Amazon collects about your products, and there's so much data that you can actually extract out of Seller Central if you would like to. But then it is time consuming because there's like text files to be downloaded, and then if you have to even if you're an Excel whiz, it's still a lot of work, right? But what we do is we collect all of your data and we put it all together in these giant repositories of information where all you need to do is go there and do your searches, your sorts, your filters right here in the Efficient Era toolset, and then you can export your views. Like you can create the perfect view and then you can export it and do analysis at your own convenience.
And one of my biggest frustrations kind of moving to Amazon from different businesses is that inability to see your performance or just manipulate the data you want. I remember the old days of pulling 3 different reports, getting them together, running a pivot table just to see some information that it just should be available. So I was really happy to see when we had charting.
So like David said, it's like really frustrating and it's time consuming to have all these different reports, and we have it all here. So let's say if you go just to your all orders view, so this gives you information about every single order, and you can actually go here and search, or then if you click on the header, it'll just sort it, and then here's where you can actually export those items. But we also have we've kind of curated certain views that are frequently used or are super useful. For example, the large orders over on the left, or the B2B orders. Like there are certain buyers that have registered as business. They have business accounts, so when sales are made to those accounts, our system is able to capture that, and we can actually show you who are these businesses, and how much did they purchase. So let's say if you want to set your item count here to, let's say 5 or 6 or whatever, it's going to show you all the orders that were larger than that. So you can set a minimum item count, and then the whole it's pretty fast. Like you can have the this view sort and search pretty quickly, and so then you can do further analysis. You can export, and then you can take it out to Excel or Google Sheets, and do your own slicing and dicing of data. And so David, you've used these views before, and do you find them useful in your day-to-day?
One of the most difficult things with Amazon is your inventory level. Amazon has stated time and time again they're not a warehouse.
Right.
They want you to run as lean inventory as possible.
Yeah.
And so when you come to decide if you want to reorder or not, it can be difficult. If you are not paying attention, you say I'm low on stock, you might place a bigger order than necessary because you look in here and you say, well, why did I sell so many products?
Right.
Well, one person came in about 500 of your item, and you can't rely on that person to be buying every single month, every single quarter, every single year. And so it's very important that you have a good idea of how many items you need to order. So if you have inventory shrinkage, or you had a lot of sales all at once, I'd go in there and I'd look for sales over 10 to see how many bulk orders were actually made. So when it comes time to place that PO, we do it right.
Right. And also, who else will like to buy like 500 items from you? It could be your competitors, right? I just want to buy you out.
Hopefully, I hope they're fans. So.
So anyway, moving along, we also have another view here on the orders tab, which is orders from promotions. And so this is, again, super useful because Amazon doesn't yet provide this information. So any promotions that you run on Amazon, we actually collect, all the orders that resulted from those promotions, and we kind of give you a list so you know which of your promotions are doing well. So let's say if we click on the claimed promotions menu item here, we can actually sort by how many promotions were claimed, how many coupons were claimed, or how many lightning deals were claimed. So that's a super useful way of even analyzing your marketing efforts on the Amazon platform. Yeah, so I think, I mean, there's so much more to show and share, but we only have time for so much. We'd love for you to send us any questions at support@efficientera.com. We have a great customer support team, and we answer your questions pretty quickly. And was there anything else, David, you want to highlight or mention?
No, I mean, I could talk that view we were just looking at.
Yeah.
I could talk about that for a long time, because that's something that when you're trying to take control over launching a product and you have to do giveaways, a lot of people, it's hard. You don't get this view right away, so it's another thing you're tempted to pay for a service to do it, and they're expensive. Everybody knows the names that are out there that offer, kind of a quick launch for a product, but they're all things you could do as a seller if you kind of take personal control, but not knowing how well that's converted to make a strategy or to see which one worked best, it's pretty frustrating. But I'll actually steal this laptop here and see if we have any questions that came in.
Yeah.
All right. Here we got one. Can you explain your pricing plan some more? What do you mean by 2 cents per order?
Right, yeah. So our pricing is very simple. We only charge US 2 cents per order. And what that means is that when you make a sale on Amazon, that's, it's counted as an order, and we'll just charge you 2 cents for that for all of our tools. So if you do your math, you'll see that it works out pretty affordable. Like, it's very affordable to have all these tools at your disposal for just 2 cents an order. So let's say you have if you make like 1,000 sales in a month, you only pay us $20 for all of our tools, which includes the ones that we showed and several more. So yeah, it's a very simple model, and it scales well with most sellers. Like some of our new sellers, like, who've just launched their products, and they want to just experiment with certain tools, and have a system in place that can help them be successful without having to worry about like which tool does what. We have that entire range of tools for them, and it's it's very affordable for small sellers, but also for the mature sellers. We have a cap on how much how far our pricing goes. So if you're a large seller and if you're looking for a pricing for you, please contact us at support@efficientera.com.
Yeah, it's really nice that a lot of tools you have out there kind of have that upfront cost, and it's hard for a new seller or somebody who's doing this kind of just starting out, maybe not full time, to actually afford to do those things. And I can speak personally on PPC and kind of those automations. It used to be that running those campaigns were kind of a good advantage. Well, now it's the norm. Everybody runs them.
Right.
It's almost you have to run them if you want to have initial success on those, and it's hard for somebody to kind of learn all these little details. One more thing I want to mention is that we don't have a base fee, and so since it's an integrated tool, we don't charge separately for each of our tools. So if you just use one tool, that's fine. You can just use that one tool, and we won't. We do have a limit on the number of ASINs we monitor, because our tools are primarily meant for like private label sellers, and so our limit on the ASINs is 10,000, which is like really high, and it's pretty rare for a private label seller to have that many ASINs that they're monitoring. Yes, we got another question here. This one's actually for me. How long does it take for Efficient Era to give you ad recommendations? Those ad recommendations are populated every week. When you go ahead and do the adjustment on them, it's not going to show you them again. That's really important for kind of the delay of data that comes in with Amazon, to make sure you're not kind of making an adjustment based off of bad information. So every week it'll give you new recommendations. All right, and I think this is the last one I can find here. So is there a limit on how many emails I can send per month?
Oh, that's a great question. We have no limit. You can send as many emails as you like, and I know that a few feedback tools will set a limit, and they'll charge you separately for like their pricing tiers. We don't have a pricing tier, so you can send as many emails as you like through our system.
There we have it. That's all for now. But again, if you have further questions, reach out to us. We're very active. So.
Yeah. So thanks so much for tuning in today, and we'll see you in the next demo, or just email us and we'll be in touch.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.